We are here today to talk about side quests because Waterdeep's great and all, and it gives you a lot to do, but it doesn't tell you every little detail about how to do it other than the linear storytelling style of the chapters that it presents, chapters 1 through 4. But chapter 9 is where we learn that there are infinite possibilities in Waterdeep because Volo tells us. In any case, we're here to talk about side quests. This is going to not be constricted to any sort of level. I'm not going to tell you how to balance things. That is, other people do that much better than I could. I generally don't balance my stuff as much anymore due to me having a party of 6 that basically has every little thing covered, and like most of them are primary spellcasters. So I don't tend to do that so much. That's a lie. I put encounters that they can beat in front of them. I just don't exactly check the CR all the time because I want to surprise myself. And it's an open world game, so sometimes they'll stumble into somewhere where they really shouldn't be. Adult Red Dragon's Lair at level 8. Let's pretend that didn't happen. Yeah, someone died. In any case, Waterdeep gives you a lot of stuff, and the chapters that it presents gives you plenty. Some people want even more, because I find that when you run a Dragon Heist game, it's either 10 sessions or 50. I haven't seen that many in-betweens from the comment sections and from me watching a few series of Dragon Heist and kind of looking into how long it was. They seem to differ wildly, and there's never like a set in-between. So I think that the best place to find a side quest to dive into is first where. Where is a key thing. Now, a lot of wheres can be Troll Skull Alley or Manor. Every single NPC might have something for them to do. One of them might have been robbed, something like that. So for instance, maybe Vincent Trench, a lovely Rakshasa detective, knocks on their door and he's like, hey, listen, I got a thing that I'm doing. Someone's paid real good money, but it's risky. And I am not a fighter. I just look into things a little above the law. So hey, do you want to maybe go and like heist a manor for me? All right, thanks. Something like that. So every quest pretty much needs a patron, whether it's an NPC or the party themselves, or it could even involve the Stone of Galore. If you feel like maybe there aren't enough steps between getting the stone and getting the money, add some more, why don't you? Add like the stone first requires 3 items that are very specific, but it tells you where they are. So that gives the party 3 more quests and they can do them in any order, something like that. Something like that could maybe be the Feather of a Pegasus. Where are you going to find a Pegasus? There's one up where they train the Griffins, but they're not going to give it away, let alone let you frickin' take the Pegasus. So yeah, something like that. It gives the party like an open way to do it. So if they have to steal this Pegasus, right, it's tame. The first thing is getting past the people that can get the Pegasus to them. So that could be you have to kind of charisma your way around the city watch or something, maybe give them like a distraction, and then you run off with the Pegasus. And then there's also the aspect of getting the Pegasus to come with you, because Pegasuses are horses ultimately, and you need to like corral them, and maybe the stone informs you like there's a tonic that you can give to it that will calm its nerves for a day. Something like that, I don't know. It allows anyone to mount it for the day. The next one could maybe be the hair of a very important noble. It could maybe tell you a specific noble. Maybe if the Castellantas are their villain, they need to have a piece of Victoro's hair, right? That sounds cool as hell. Heisting the mansion in the middle of the night, going and trying to take a bit of his hair, and they might even be tempted to just frickin' stab while they're there, something like that. That can stretch out a bit more and give the party much more to do to get to where they need to go. And definitely sticking a villain on top of that gives them more incentive, especially their primary villain that's been hounding them all game. So like if it's Jarlaxle per se, then it wants a gun. Where do you get a gun? The Jarlaxle or his boys. And it can't be any old gun. No, it has to be the gun of one of the specific drow gunslingers. Not the one that the Zentarim gives you a quest for at level 2. No, not that one. Because that would be too easy. That gives them a whole nother thing to do. Just something like that. Gathering possessions so that they can open the door. I talked a little bit about opening the door before, but maybe getting those items is the key to unlocking these stones' knowledge about what you need to get to open the door. It's like several steps to get there, so that not only do they have more stuff to do, but it also kind of gives them more to do with the Stone of Galore, because once the party have the money, Galore's just kind of there now. Someone's probably attuned to it still. They're not going to just chuck it away, and that could still be an incentive for like the Xanathar to maybe go after them. But the stone could continuously supply them with quests beyond 5th level if you wanted. So for instance, maybe after all the money's been gotten, it says there's still people who want to take it. I'm going to tell you generally who I think they are, how they're going to do it, and we're going to stop them, alright? In exchange, I learn more about them. Something like that. Something that makes it more interesting and encourages the party to properly go along with the quest, because after they've got 50,000 gold, they're not going to feel like they have to adventure for a while, because they've got a tavern to run and everything, probably. Something else is faction stuff. So like a faction could give you a side quest per se, which is what they do in the module. I have a 3-part little mini series within this series where I do talk about some extra quests within factions if I feel like they need changing. Generally, I think it's a good idea if you want to know some more about them. Every faction in the game pretty much is touched on quite well in other editions and in Forgotten Realms lore, so if you want to look into perhaps what they do, maybe their history to get some inspiration on a quest or two, go for it. These don't even have to be side quests, these can be main things. If you want to link it to Tomb of Annihilation, let's say the Harpers hit you up and they say, we found Artist Simba, he's on Chult, go get him. Something like that. That could be cool as hell. So Force Grey could give you any sort of adventure to do. Force Grey are some of my favourite quests that they give you, and sometimes they could even stack. Maybe once the party are about 5th or 6th level, Force Grey hits them up again and says like, hey, so you know that dragon you talked to? It's missing, and there's no evidence of its hoard or anything. Go check what happened. And then, oh, it's ran away from something. What did it run away from? Oh, there's a Marid under the water and it's plotting to destroy Waterdeep from the inside. Why the hell not? Gives the party some more stuff to do. I think I've given like 5 or 6 new quest lines for you to use here in examples that I actually really want to do if I ever run Dragon Heist again. Yeah, I want to do a lot of that stuff now. I've always wanted to run a Marid. I almost did, but then I cancelled the campaign. Oops! If you want some inspiration for side quests, this is advice from like Matt Colville. Go into the Monster Manual, Volo's Guide, Mordenkainen's, look at something, look at what it is, what it does, and think, that's cool, how can I use this? Just keeping my balance and stuff. But if you think, that Medusa stat block looks cool, how do I use that? Maybe consider that there is a Medusa puppeting a section of one of the factions, and the party even get a quest from her, like indirectly. Some member of the faction comes up and tells them to do something. Turns out they've done a pretty immoral thing, and now the City Watch are after them, and they're like, what the heck? And it's a Medusa manipulating them. And they can learn that, or they don't, and they get pissed and leave the faction, etc., etc. Side quests shouldn't just be viewed as, I am here, I will pay you X amount of money or X amount of loot or favors for Y quest. It could be just anything that the party have to deal with. There's some great modules that just kind of throw you into the frickin' deep end and just say, you have to deal with this now. And that's one of my favorite things. There is an old module that I was looking into for kind of some understanding of some lore about Dragonbait from Tomb of Annihilation. something about Azure bonds or whatever. You can go and look into that. The story seems really interesting. Apparently the party all wake up and they've all got weird tattoos on them and they need to figure out what the hell's wrong with that. Do that, that's great. The party are going to be weirdly interested. Maybe some of the NPCs that they've talked to a lot know. Maybe like one of the party members makes an Arcana check and they're like, we've been cursed or we've been branded or something. These can activate at any time, we need to stop this. And that gives you so much more to do. It doesn't have to span an entire new adventure. It can just be an hour or two of a session to 10 sessions, whatever you think fits due to your narrative and how you want to tell it. And with Dragon Heist in particular, there's no real way to tell how long it's going to last. The game that I'm currently playing in has maybe had like 6, 7 sessions, like maybe 8 or 9. We're already mostly the way through it because we made a bunch of characters who want to do Dragon Heist, you know? Or at least most of us did. So yeah. Thank you for watching. Hopefully some of this advice was helpful to you so that maybe you can make your own extra side quests. Think of some neat rewards as well. And yeah, thank you for watching. Bye. You alright?
Yeah, can you stop bashing the table? You're shaking the camera.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
For an 1,000 sub special, I intend to So I don't know how that's going to turn out, but should be fine.